Hey, it's Chris Byer.
Chris Bowling. What's up, CB?
Another spring cleaning topic. We're going HR today. We're going to talk about how HR can help spring clean on their benefit program.
Yes. It's that time of the year. You look at your closet, you realize all this I did not wear.
Yes,
So,
it's time to
so
get rid of it.
yeah, so HR, same thing. What aren't you using? Or what are you not using?
Yes. I like to start with the first one. Let's toss paper.
Yeah,
I think so many of our clients have made the move to paperless benefit enrollment. There's a ton of employers that have yet to get there and just wasting time, energy, resources.
right.
And it could all be done instantly, easily, and automated. And I think that tossing the paper process for enrollment allows you to spend more time as an HR professional making better employees.
And if you're worried about the cost of it, most brokers are offering that service at no additional cost.
Yes. Yeah,
So
there's ways
cost
to get
shouldn't
it
be
paid
the
for.
barrier.
Absolutely.
Cost should not be the
Yep.
barrier. There are,
Yes.
as we know, there are some payroll vendors that don't share their data easily, but that still doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. I mean, there's
Yes.
still to be an effective way. If you're maybe you've been told that you're too small, right? Oh, well, don't do it because none of this data is going anywhere because it can't flow. Once
There's
again,
workarounds.
there's workarounds. That is a barrier
Yes.
that should not exist.
The other thing I think of is that, as I would say, if an HR professional is looking at what to throw out, I think it's the mindset that they have to be a pro at everything.
Yeah,
I'm seeing more of our HR teams that we work with saying, I'm not an expert in this aspect of HR, so help me find a resource that can be my backup. There
right.
are so many good HR consulting firms, HR consulting services that are out there that maybe you're really trained up in a certain area of HR, but you're running the entire department. Don't feel like you got to learn it all. There are very efficient ways for you to outsource that, offload some of that work, and toss the notion that you have to be the pro at every single component of that. Do what you do well, outsource the rest.
And I'll repeat what I said before. Most brokerages are going to provide that service at no additional cost.
Yes,
So again,
absolutely.
cost should not be a barrier. I mean, we've got three options that we use. Depending on what you need, we've got the option. And guess what? It should not cost you a dime to have it. Love it.
And I would say the third one is tossing the idea that all of your employees either think one way or think the other way. But again, we get into the habit that my employees aren't going to use technology to access their benefits, or my employees only will respond to a paper benefit guide, or my employees all want the same benefits. We've got potentially 5 generations in the workforce today, but all of them have found out some way to shop online. Some of them have found some way to use technology for their personal lives. And I think we can get past that mindset that, oh, we're this type of company. This isn't going to work. It's, again, toss that mindset.
Right.
There are ways to get there. And again, you'll say it. Most brokerages have ways to tailor the communication to employees based on your demographics, based on how they receive information, where their work site is. But that, again, is something that we're seeing that's holding back efficiency for a lot of HR teams.
We've heard the excuse, my employees will not download another app. You don't need an app to do this. We literally
Correct.
have QR codes, they scan it, there's no login, bam, all their benefits are right there.
Yep.
So that
Yeah,
should
I
not
think,
be a barrier. There
yeah.
are ways to get rid of the paper.
And I would say the last one that, it continues to be a topic that, my employees have an employee assistance program. They have an EAP. So we've taken care of the mental health concerns for our team. And I know there's a lot of HR teams that are really focused on making mental health care more accessible, more valuable. But EAPs are hard to get scheduled. Providers are hard to book up time. There are so many other resources beyond the health plan that can be bolted onto that employer group to say, we're providing you more. And as an employer, we want you to be better at your job, better with your family. The thought that EAP is the only solution to mental health resources, I think, has to go out the window. That needs to be tossed and start to investigate some of these things that, again, can be brought in both in a community or through a service that just
Yeah.
makes that accessibility better.
Yeah, and there's some neat options out there where you could have a true employee advocacy program that also expands into mental health. I mean, there's so much
Yes,
out there that you don't have to buy the one solution that only solves the one problem. Is
correct.
There's some neat programs out there. I mean, you and I are, obviously introduced to these weekly, and it becomes a
Yes.
tad bit to manage what's right, what's wrong. But again, Cannot say that enough. Mental health is, I mean, I'm astonished by how many of our clients are asking for help.
Yes, absolutely. And this is the time of years we said before that if you're an HR team and you're thinking about what do we want to do next year, this is the time to start planning it. You're out of renewal, you're out of open enrollment, you're almost through all of the year-end payroll reporting, all those things that you have to do for tax season. This is when we like to sit down with prospective employer groups and say, tell me what is the dream? What's the ideal? Where do you want to see your program go? And do you have all of the thoughts in place to get there? This is the time to do it. So I would challenge the HR teams listening, figure out what's working, what's not, toss the things that aren't, and let's modernize benefits now in the second quarter.
Great topic, man.
Absolutely.